Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Sean Huggins. I'm an American looking to learn more about life in Europe. And today we have a pretty cool video planned for you guys. This is the unexpected benefits of an upright Dutch bike from Shifter. Check them out, linked in the description as always. A Dutch bike. I don't even really know what a Dutch bike is, to be honest. So I'm curious to see what a Dutch bike is and then why it's so good. So I guess if anybody has to have figured out what's the best, most practical, most useful bike possible, it has to be the Dutch, right? Because they, Dutch people ride bikes all the time, I think. I don't know, but hopefully we're going to find out today together. So let's see what's going on with this Dutch bike.
Hey, check out this shot. What am I doing here?
You're riding a bike.
No, I'm not in a lazy boy. I'm actually riding a bike. Yes, a super upright, step-through, comfortable bike that feels a lot like a lazy boy. Hey guys, I'm Tom, and this is Shifter, a channel all about urban cycling and bike commuting. And today I'm asking a question. Is your riding position on your bike a state of mind? Let's see. You've probably seen bikes like this in your city, usually ridden by some amazingly dressed woman who looks like she's having so much fun, casual, laid back, enjoying herself. Yeah, well, these bikes are pretty rare actually in North America these days. And it's funny because when you look at this bike, you probably think, oh, that's a girl's bike, which is weird, even though this is actually a girl's bike. It's a Giant brand bike. It's in their Live brand, which is for women.
Giant
but it's funny,
brand?
as a kid.
Dude, this is a grocery store brand bike? Did I hear that correctly? Giant is a grocery store in America. Huh? Why is a grocery store selling bikes? I'm confused.
I remember calling any bike with a step-through frame was called a girl's bike, which even as a kid made no sense to me because with a high crossbar, aren't you more likely to squish your balls on that? Anyway, these bikes...
Oh, dude, that's excellent. I never gave this any thought. Then again, I haven't ridden bikes since I was a little kid. I mean, it's just not very convenient to ride bikes in America, so I never even owned a bike since I was a little kid because it's so inconvenient riding bikes in most of America that it doesn't even make sense to buy a bike unless you're like taking it out into the woods to do mountain biking or something, I guess. But even that, I don't know, maybe if you lived in a city, certain cities in America, but unless you live in a certain city, like bikes just don't make sense in America. You can't really get places even by bike. You kind of have to have cars because they don't build any bike lanes or anything in America. And yeah, it's not safe. It's just not, it's not fun. It's not convenient. It's not safe. It's just all no's. So I just never owned a bike for the last like 20 years of my life. So yeah, I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to bikes. Well, I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to a lot of things, but especially bikes.
Bikes are super common in the Netherlands and in Copenhagen, where people ride bikes every day for transportation. Actually, true Dutch bikes are pretty rare here in North America. In fact, I know a guy in Canada who was so desperate for Dutch bikes, he actually bought up a bunch of used ones and shipped them all back to Canada to give them away to his friends. Good job, Anders. But we don't see a lot of Dutch bikes here in North America for reasons I can't quite fathom. I mean, they're practical, they're comfortable, they last forever. And I suspect it's something to do with the impression these bikes have. These bikes are seen as unathletic, and most bike retailers are not that interested in selling bikes that are not for sport. But I am seeing the influence of Dutch bikes more and more, especially on urban bikes. This is a bit of a weird one. Actually, it's not a true Dutch bike. It's kind of got the right frame, but it doesn't have the handlebars that wrap around. It's got way too many gears, and it doesn't have internal gearing, which is one of the tenets of Dutch bikes. But you can see in this bike the influence of the classic Dutch frame. And yes, bikes like this are super comfortable, but there's something else about them. Riding a bike like this is a whole different activity than riding a bike that's built for sport, which is mostly what you see here in North America.
Really?
In fact, when I ride a bike like this, I almost find myself in a different state of mind. I'm going to try to convince you today that a Dutch bike is a state of mind as much as a machine. Oh, hey, a quick interruption here. While I was editing this video, I realized I was maybe not all that clear on something. There are Dutch bikes that are step-through frames, but there are also Dutch bikes that have high crossbars.
Okay, I've seen this kind before on the bottom here. I'm not sure about the top kind. I don't know. I don't pay attention to bikes that much, but I'm pretty sure I've seen this kind on the bottom here before. Huh. But probably not either kind of these in America that I can remember. Interesting.
There's men's and women's Dutch bikes. In the rest of this video, when I say Dutch bike, what I'm really talking about is a bike with an upright riding position. You know, where you sit back and you're relaxed. Just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's compare the differences in a frame like this towards a typical commuter bike here in North America and a more athletic bike. There's such a difference in it that it really dictates the way you ride. On the road bike, for example, you're leaning so far forward that you almost can't help but be aggressive and fast. The frame is light. Often they're made of materials like carbon or titanium, making them super light, super fast. The gearing is made to make them fast.
Okay.
And just by leaning forward, it puts you in a state of mind. You want to go fast. You feel aggressive. You want to win that race. A mountain bike also puts you in a similar position in which you're leaning forward. Your arms are really wide because you need that security. You need the control. Your bike is loaded with gears. It's just meant to tackle that trail. The wheels are fat. It just puts you in a different state of mind. Now check out the frame on this Dutch bike. For one, you're sitting almost completely upright. You're leaning back. Your feet are almost in front of you, which totally changes the position.
It almost looks like you're walking in this position. It's like you're standing up so upright. It almost looks like you're just walking, but just a little bit off the ground. Like the pedals are just a little bit off the ground, but you're almost doing like the walking motion with your legs. Interesting. I do like how these Dutch bikes have baskets and stuff on them. That definitely makes them way more useful than the average bike in America. If you're using it for daily commuting to work or school or whatever around town, you can actually use the bike for transporting a little bit of stuff, which is very, very useful. And not something that I see a whole lot of actually in America. Anyways, let's continue.
It's like sitting on a recliner. That's why I called it a lazy boy. Often the handlebars curl back towards you, so you don't have to stretch forward. It just changes the way you approach the ride completely. And let me tell you, they are comfortable. And you're probably thinking, so what? So the bike is comfortable. You can get lots of other comfortable bikes too. But these bikes are comfortable in a different way. And what I mean by a state of mind is that when you're riding it, it just changes your whole approach to riding. I'd go so far as to say that it changes your view of the world. When you're
wow, dude. Okay, this guy is making some big claims right now. It changes your view on the world. Wow. Okay, you know what? I'm going to hear him out. I'm going to hear him out and see what he has to say. But, dude, changes your view on the whole world? Oh, man. Okay, let's see.
Riding a bike for sport, you are aggressive. Almost can't help yourself but go fast. And you want to win that race. Even if you're being passed by someone on your commute and you're not even in a race and the other person doesn't even know when you're in a race, I often find myself wanting to beat them, which makes no sense at all. But on this bike, you're not like that at all. You sit back, you can't help but look around, take in the surroundings, enjoy things. You slow right down. It's just such a lazy, comfortable, relaxing experience, completely different. I even think that when you get to the end of your ride, you can feel different. When I get somewhere on a fast bike, I feel great. I have that athletic buzz. Endorphins are going and the sweat is going and you get off. It's like a post-workout buzz and it feels amazing. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But when you're on this bike and you get to your destination, I love just rolling up, putting out the kickstand, locking it up, and just strolling away. You're so relaxed. You enjoyed the journey. It gives you like a real zen moment in your day. So what's holding us back? Why don't more people ride bikes like this? Especially for comfort. Well, we are seeing more of them, but I do think there is a bit of a stigma around these bikes. I mean, this really is a girl's bike. I admit I was feeling a little self-conscious riding it over here. You know, maybe the purple basket helps it, but that's ridiculous.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I don't know anything about bikes, like I said, but I wouldn't think that this is a girl's bike just because of the frame. But then again, I also don't know anything about bikes, so maybe that's why. Anyways.
I mean, it's just a bike. It's just a machine.
I would ride that bike,
It's
though.
a gender-neutral machine, so any of us can ride this bike. They're very practical, and I guess I'm not here to convince you that you should run out and buy a bike like this. I'm just saying, for an urban transportation vehicle, I think these kind of bikes are underrated. I'd love to see more of them on the streets, and so that's what I mean when I say riding a Dutch bike is a state of mind. It's just a completely different experience. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just trying to open your eyes a bit to the fact that there are differences in riding bikes. And if you're looking for something that's relaxing and for transportation, maybe look at a bike that has some Dutch influence. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope that helps. See you next time.
That did help. Thanks. Bye. Wow. Okay. That was pretty cool. That opened my eyes to a world of Dutch bikes that I didn't even know existed, to be honest. I mean, I knew that in the Netherlands, people really love riding bikes. That's a stereotype that I think is pretty apparent. Like, I think that's definitely a true stereotype that we hear all the time in America. So it kind of makes sense to me that if the people that love riding bikes all day, every day, they probably found a way to make a really good, a really well-designed bike. So it kind of makes sense. I would ride a bike like that. I don't think that it's really looks like a girly bike. At least to me, it doesn't. Maybe to other people it would, but I wouldn't really care about that. I would still ride it because it seems pretty practical. And if I'm riding a bike to and from work or around town to do some shopping or something, then I'm probably going to want it to be practical over fast or just cool looking. I would want it to be practical. I like the baskets. I like how it seems like an easy ride. So yeah, I would probably choose that bike, I think, as far as I could tell. Yeah, pretty cool. But anyways, I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And when you're done there, consider subscribing if you haven't already. It helps the algorithm, which helps the channel. Thank you very much in advance. That's all the time that I have for today, though. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.